Welcome to the Color Timer podcast. I am your host, Vincent Taylor. This is a show where we speak to professionals who work with color. Today, we're speaking to a very old friend of mine, Michael Henry. Michael is a filmmaker, a writer. He's been in the industry for 20 plus years, made an incredible feature film called Blame that was in the Toronto Film Festival. I was chatting to Michael about the show, saying it's all about color, and then made some kind of nasty remark that only friends can make, saying, "Oh, shame you can't come on the show because you're colorblind." And then when I heard that, I went, wait a second, no, you have to come on the show. I want to chat to you about what it's like to be colorblind, being a creative in this industry. What can you see? What can't you see? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the 15-minute sand timer as per usual to keep the conversation contained, keep it focused, and let's go.
Take your seats because the hourglass is about to turn. We are entering the world of the micro podcast. Explore the craft, creativity, and science of professionals who use color to tell stories. Welcome to The Color Timer with Vincent Taylor.
Michael, hi, thank you for joining me.
Good to be here, Vincent. Good to see you as always.
It makes us sound all kind of official when we speak to each other like that. When I was chatting to you originally, and I was just telling you that I was doing this podcast, and it was a podcast talking to professionals who work with color, and then I said some kind of remark about going, "Oh, shame you can't come on because you're colorblind," and then I went, actually, no, you should come on the show, and we should talk about what it's like to be colorblind, especially you're a director, you're a filmmaker, and how that impacts you. And then the more I thought about it, I thought back to the old days of film school, and I was still a DP.
Yep.
And I was shooting something for you.
Yep.
And I remember my little anecdote of and I think this is true. I don't think I made it up.
I think it's true.
Where I was putting a gel up on the light, and you came over to me, and I guess you were shy about it. I don't know, but you sort of said quietly, "Oh, is that green? Is that a green gel you're putting up?" And I went, "Yeah, it is." It's like, but look, thank you for talking to me about
no
this.
worries. I mean, you're always tentative as a director with color, like on sets or in the grading room. I just feel like when you're colorblind, you're just confused. It's like color confusion, color deficiency more than color blindness. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm never certain, never sure. So hence, is that green? Is this, anyway. So
before I jump into that first question, because I've made this mistake before, I've got to remember to start my color timer.
Please.
All right. Yeah. So here we go.
I can see it there.
Here we go. It's going. Right. It's official.
Awesome.
So, I mean, how did you find out you were colorblind? How old were you? I
was in grade 1. We were learning colors, and magenta, the color magenta, was something I just couldn't understand. It's like I think it's the opposite of my safety word. It's like my fear word, magenta. And I thought I was an all right kid, pretty smart, could pick up things, but colors, I was just like, what the hell is this? It's brown, right? And then no, it's sort of, I still don't know, so I'm guessing, right? Magenta's a reddy brown, right? Or something like that. Or I don't fucking know. It's part of my language. I just don't know. So I just remember in grade 1 going, no matter how many times you try to teach me this, I can't get it. I just can't understand it. So I remember my dad took me to the Ioneer Hospital in Melbourne, got a day off school, which was always awesome.
That's good.
And
That's good.
Just remember having a whole bunch of tests done. My dad giving me one of these invisible pen sort of cool books to do on the way home just to soften the blow. But yeah, found out that I was like severely colorblind, and and that was at 7, and nothing's changed. I'm still.
Did you as a little kid? Did you feel? How did it make you feel? Or you didn't?
There's not very often, other than like if someone says, "What color is this?" You don't walk around the world going, "That's red, that's green, that's blue." Yeah. Oh, look at the sky; it's awesome. You see it, you think it, but you don't. I don't know. You don't verbalize it or process it too much. And I've been like this since I was born. It's the way I've seen the world. And it's still very colorful for anyone that doesn't understand what colorblindness actually is. It's actually for a minute percentage of the colorblind population, it's black and white colorblindness. For the rest of us, it's just tonally, like we probably see 5,000 colors where you see, whatever it is, 1 to 2 million, whatever. I don't know what number it is.
I've got no idea.
We only see, a restricted amount, I guess. So,
do you, and it's okay if you don't, but do you know anything about the science behind colorblindness? Or
it's to do with the cones in your eyes, supposedly, and it's something actually physically wrong with the color cones in your retina,
right? That
don't process the light properly.
Do you know? Do you happen to know if it's hereditary or?
Yeah,
it is.
Well, so for anyone, I mean, it's a pretty easy way to explain it. It's a recessive gene that gets carried on through a mother,
right?
And a mother will give it to her sons, as in the actual colorblindness.
Yeah.
If she passes it on to me,
right,
then I, as a colorblind person, pass it on through my daughter, through her genes. So if I had a daughter, she would be 50% chance of being colorblind.
Right. Which was leading on to my other question, because I was wondering if it was like hemophilia, where it's just male or female, but it's not, right?
It's like 95% males, or some huge amount. The only way you will get a colorblind female, I'm pretty sure, is if you have a colorblind mother and a colorblind father. The mother is carrying the colorblind gene recessively, mm-hmm. and she marries a male who is actually colorblind. So therefore, it's an XY thing.
And they have met at a colorblind club.
Absolutely, the colorblind club.
Yeah,
which you don't know about.
Of course, no. I can only imagine. You've kind of touched on this, but could you try to describe to me how you do see color?
The best one, I just think it's like, so like I'm looking out here and I can see a tree, right? Where you would see all the color differentiation in the green in that tree, in the leaves. It's like, imagine taking 15 different shades of green or very close,
yeah,
and grouping together in one block color. That's kind of more what I see. I don't see the differentiation. That's where I think colorblind people get lost.
Yeah.
Primary colors are a lot easier to differentiate. Show me a yellow and a red, I can pick that up. Show me a dark green and a light brown, and my brain starts going, I don't know where it fits, what it is. So right now, when I see a tree, I see it as very vibrant and colorful. It's green. It's a super green tree out there, but I'm not seeing those color differentiations in there. But I'm still seeing tonal differentiations. I can see the underside of the leaf is dark, the top of the leaf is bright, but I'm not seeing color differentiation like a non-colorblind person would say.
Do you? And again, I think you did actually already touch on this, but is there any way that it affects your day-to-day life?
No, apart from I don't want my color my driving test, which I can't talk about, but I passed, so there you go. I'm not colorblind at all. No, look, it doesn't affect. It would affect your life ridiculously. I mean, as a color grader, it's like everything you do.
Yeah.
But for most of us, color doesn't. I guess assessing color isn't an integral part of our life. It's just something that happens in the background, and very often, very rarely, no one ever stops me to go, hey, what color's that shirt you're wearing?
The closest, and it's far away, but the closest I can possibly get, when I was working in China,
yep.
And I'd only been wearing glasses a couple of years, and I got a new prescription. And I started work that day, and it was great. It was really good. Next day, great. It was good. And then I think the third day, I kept the glasses on as I went to go outside, and I took them off. And I think there was quite a colourful sign there, and I went, "Why does that look different?" And I realised that they'd put a blue blocker or a colour thing on the glasses, and I freaked out because I went, "Oh my God, I've just been grading for 2 days." And it's interesting because I went, of course I put my old glasses back on, and I went back, and it was subtly different, but it was all relative. And basically I just shifted the green hue out of everything and it was fine.
I mean, that's my talking about green hue and stuff. When we're talking, thinking about, you know, working as a director and working with color grading and this.
Yeah.
The worst thing for me is green tinges on skin and stuff. Like if they're under a fluoro or stuff, you would spot it like that. I would still look at someone and think tonally their skin looks all right. It just doesn't scream out like, oh my God, they've got a green face. And there's so many times where, you know, I'm doing an edit or I'm just running through, and then I show someone something, and then they come back and go, why is that person got a green tinge on their face? So I was, it hasn't been graded yet, or whatever, you know. And
yeah.
Because, you know, everyone uses LUTs now and just quick little things to present an edit to someone. But
it's true, yeah.
So often, man, that sort of thing is my you know, kryptonite, I guess.
No, kryptonite's green, by the way.
See? Can't see it.
Yeah, sorry. Now, we have a mutual close friend of ours, and when I said to him that I was speaking to you,
yep.
And so he's given me a question to ask you. The Matrix.
Oh, right.
The red pill and the blue pill, you know, did that lose any value?
No, because again, primary colours. I could see the red and the blue. If it was a red and a brown film, yeah, I'd be screwed, man. That film would take a whole new meaning for me, I think. But no.
It does. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And I think you were initially talking too about like the red jacket in Schindler's. You know,
in Schindler's List.
That.
Yeah,
I could spot that. Like, you know,
yeah.
And I think I think colorblind people probably have like an innate strength with tone. I think maybe I mentioned this to you as well. I think tonally we must just like black and white and just.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about the world of black and white photography. Like if you watch a black and white film, I don't know, does it have any impact or?
It's equivalent to you. I mean, imagine you guys watching you cite color sites. And
yeah, I know. Fine.
When you see something and it's like a mid-grey in a black and white film, it could be a grey shirt, it could be a red shirt, it could be a bunch of different colours. Do you know what I mean? But tonally, it's sitting in the same spot. That's kind of like what I would say. So I guess that's why I'm saying tonally is the thing that I pick up on more. Like if you showed me two browns, you're picking up the color where I'm looking straight away for the tonal differences. One will be darker than the other.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would just pick the darker one as brown, I guess, because generally brown is a darker color than green, like primary sort of stuff. So it's a constant guessing.
But it's interesting, that thing about, I remember when I was, you know, a budding cinematographer and just learning, and a mentor of mine had said, you know, one of the best things you can do to develop your eye as a cinematographer is to shoot black and white. And same with photography.
Yep.
Because you're not getting distracted by the colors, you're focusing on those tones.
Yep. Oh, well, I mean, that's very, very similar to what I would say from my point of view. I've always been really interested in color is just something I defer to my cinematographer and my grader for. But I can still the person that I was reading about recently, Nicholas Winding Refn, Drive director, and a few.
Oh yes.
He uses color in such a like amazing punchy way. He's supposedly colorblind as well.
Is that right?
And I think that's part of him stepping out of his safety zone and just saying, screw it, I'm gonna over push this, you know, and the way he uses colored light so often, you know, where it's not even needed, but he's using it as a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
I see that now, and I go, as a colorblind director, I kind of go, I get what you're doing. I get you're pushing it, you're having a bit more fun.
Yeah.
You're breaking a bit of those boundaries, I guess, that, you know, normal color sighted people might not do.
And going back, you know, to that analogy of you and I on set from, oh my God, 20 years ago, whenever it was, where I interpreted the way you were saying it was a bit of shyness. I mean, do you have a shyness still about it, or?
Well, yeah, it's not something. I don't walk around with my I'm colorblind T-shirt sort of thing. Especially when you're directing or working with someone, it's something that you don't. I mean, it doesn't come up unless I'm talking to a colorist, really, or a cinematographer. You know.
Yeah. Well, on that topic then, I mean, how do you work with like a colorist? How would you work with a colorist? You're in a suite.
Again, I would have to really trust them and defer to them. But I would use references from other films and things that I like. That I would be very picky on tonal decisions and things like that. I can see consistency in color too, I guess, as well, in a way. Maybe just I could tell if something feels a little jarring. But there is a lot of trust. Like I think the film industry in general, you have to put a lot of trust in everyone you work with. You want to work with the best cinematographers, the best sound recorders, the best.
It's true.
Whatever. So I probably defer more to a colorist and a cinematographer than I do, other areas of filmmaking, I think, because I just need to trust in them and know that they've got my back.
This is not related to color blindness. It's related to you as a director. But who are your, who inspires you as far as filmmakers go? Well,
it was always Lynch, people like that. Just again, I like things that were a little left of field. But modern filmmakers, obviously, people like Fincher has been amazing. Look, I was a big Italian cinema 70s, 60s, 70s. So Bertolucci, Conformist is one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah. I'm a bit like everyone, I think. The more you get into film, you just deep dive into so many eras and so many different, for 5 years, I'm just into 60s cinema. And then for another 5 years, American cinema in the 70s is freaking phenomenal, Yeah. So I love it all. I really do. I guess I'm finding it harder to say I love it now. Korean cinema, that's my last 5 years for me.
But wait. But what do you mean you're finding it harder to follow it now? What does that mean?
I think to get overly excited. Television's doing it for a lot of us now, more than cinema, I think. That's what gets tricky,
Interesting.
It's the bigger films that I'll go and see in the cinema for the spectacle and the impact. But there was a time 20 years ago I'd go and see so many independent films. Oh, look, the time has run out.
Oh, it has. That's all right. That's all right.
You can see that the reel's finished,
see?
Vincent.
I know. I did.
It's definitely the era of television. It's got to flip somewhere. It has to, I think.
And then just following up on that point that I interrupted you on, you said Korean cinema. What is it about Korean cinema?
Just it's ballsy. It's balls to the wall crazy. I love it. And again, coming from someone who loved, 20 years ago, I was a Lynchophile, like through and through, to come and to watch some of these just mad Korean directors. Parasite has to be one of the best films from the last 5 years. I was a huge fan of his prior to that. Memories of Murder from him like 20 years ago. It's just phenomenal. Again, there's just a bit more risk taking in everything, in storytelling and stylistic choices, things like that. It got me excited again, I think, which is what I'm waiting for again. I think I'm waiting for my next phase to get excited.
It's so true. And when you have that moment where you whether it's a bloody painting or a film or whatever, and you just go, it
just hits you somewhere. Music does it to me as well, or something like there's something where it just all of a sudden something left of field just starts to just grabs you, and then you just go, that's it. I'm running with that for the next 5 years. That's my thing, I sort of love it. So,
well, I'm going to be good, and our timer has run out. But Michael, thank you so much. For me, it's fascinating, and it's great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
All right.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Michael, thank you so much. It was great to see you, mate. I miss you. Thank you to my executive producer, MixingLight.com. If you're watching this or listening to this on their website, you already know what they do. If not, check them out. Everything Color, they can help you out. Thank you to my friend of the show, Filmlight, and to my producer, Kayla. And thank you for listening. Thank you for liking, subscribing, leaving comments, all of that kind of stuff. It's awesome, and I appreciate it. Until next time, keep coloring outside the lines. Take care.
The Color Timer, a micro podcast experience.